तू माटी का लाल है, कोई कंकड़ या कोई धूल नहीं। तू समय बदल के रख देगा, इतिहास लिखेगा।
Hello and welcome to the Unplugged Stories, the space where ideas meet conversation and stories unfold. Today, we have someone really special with us, a person I have seen leading from the front in heated model United Nations, sometimes taking the stand as the leader of opposition, and sometimes surprising everyone by switching to the other side with equal grace. He is a political thinker, tech enthusiast, and a believer in the spiritual path. Thank you for tuning in. This is Piyush Parivakar on The Unplugged Stories. Welcome, sir. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling very excited today because this would be my second podcast or something. That is very interesting to yap on podcasts rather than yapping on Instagram because podcast are something that where we can give an unfiltered version of ourselves, like unplugged version of ourselves. So yes, that's it. I'm feeling very excited for this podcast and I look very much forward to it.
I too am very excited for this because I have actually seen you in action. I have delegated in the same committees as yours. I have watched you representing the LOP most of the time. But recently I got to know that you are pursuing a technical degree,
Yes.
which I believe keeps people away from politics.
Yes.
And you chose to step into debates, public speaking, and political discussions, and even student leadership. I'm curious to know, how did that happen? Was there a particular experience or moment that led you to this space, or was it just your passion?
Well, firstly, talking about MUNs, I have been doing MUNs since I was in 12th. I had no plans of pursuing a technical or a BTech degree. Initially, I had plans of pursuing a law degree, LLB, BA LLB, by giving CLAT and all these things. But due to some family issues and all, I had to pursue BTech and CAC. So talking about MUNs, I've been doing it even before I've started my graduation degree, undergraduation degree. Other than that, it is of course a passion. Politics is my passion. Debating and oratory is my passion. So it is also a passion. It is also a choice, and it is also something which I like doing, and it is also something which I like to give to the people. Because if I am involved in all these certain things, of course I'll have to give it and pass it on to someone else as well, right? So doing all these MUNs, student leadership and student politics, it is not just for my own self, but it is also for my colleagues, my students, and whosoever I can pass it on to.
So I can relate to that because public speaking and all these things are my passion as well. So 5 years in the MEN circuit, that's a very long journey. I would love to know, how was your first experience in the Model United Nations?
Yes. So my very first experience was not even in Nagpur MUN circuit.
Oh,
It was in Mysore MUN circuit. So the very first day of the 2 day conference, it was like, what do I had? मुझे क्या ही करना था? No one could figure it out what you have to do in your very first time and on your very first day, right? So पहला दिन I was like कि what should I do? What questions should I ask? What speeches should I give? What things should I research upon? Right. So first day was like this. On the second day, uh, I did my best. I got a verbal mention, but that's okay because winning and losing it is not part of the MUNs or at all. Giving your 100% is that's something I've always said. So my first experience, very initial experience, was like this. Other than that, my very first committee, like newcomers in our MUNs, start usually from UN committees, right?
yes.
Like because UN committees are easier as compared to the Indian committees. So my very first MUN initial सबसे पहला वाला, it was Lok Sabha committee. And Lok Sabha is something which people can't even get after delegating 3 to 4 times in the very same format, Indian format.
Yes.
So it was a very big task for me to delegate in an Indian committee for the very first time without having any knowledge of any MU. So I just started my journey from there. You keep on learning as far as the MUNs you go. I did 5 to 6 MUNs in the Mysore circuit. and then I got shifted here, and then here on I have now been doing 56 to something like MUNs,
Wow.
and I've started chairing now. So it is a bit easier for me right now as compared to it was earlier. So that was all. My very first experience, it was, I don't know, I can't describe it in words. It might be very embarrassing if I describe it in words.
Okay. It was like the more you explored, the
Yes.
more it became a part of it.
Yes, exactly. In every sector, in every domain, in every field, not just MBAs, if you do any anything else as well. So the more you explore, the more you get involved within that field, within that domain, you get to learn new many things. Right. Now I am chairing these MBAs, so I know all the procedures. I tell them to the people. So that's it. Once you get involved, once you start doing something, once you tread that path, you keep on learning, you keep on following that path. That is something which is relatable in every domain, every field. Other than MUNs, this is very much relatable to my MUN experience and journey as well.
It's a very inspiring journey, to be honest. And so I have seen you representing the leader of opposition and sometimes sitting on the other side as well.
Hmm.
So, in my opinion, it becomes very challenging to question your own positions, your own ideology.
Yes.
What's your take on that?
Well, if you want to enjoy the pure form of debates and deliberation, one should be knowledgeable about both the sides, right? And recently, I have been doing it since 2024 on the ruling side. So what I personally believe is कि अगर हमें किसी एक मुद्दे के ऊपर पूरी तरीके का ज्ञान प्राप्त करना हो, तो हमें उसको दोनों पर्सपेक्टिव से देखना पड़ता है. Like for example, if we take a topic, if we take an agenda which is one nation, one election, which is recently in चर्चा as well.
बहुत चर्चा में.
सो हमें कांग्रेस की तरफ से एक पर्सपेक्टिव देखने मिलेगा, हमें बीजेपी की तरफ से एक पर्सपेक्टिव देखने मिलेगा, और फिर हम दोनों पर्सपेक्टिव्स को मैच करके कॉमन ग्राउंड पे निकल आ सकते हैं. That is for a common person who doesn't know anything about MUN. For me in MUN, when delegating from the ruling side, other than the LOP and opposition stuff, it was easy for me because I know how to pinpoint and oppose the opposition's allegations. So yes, it was very challenging for me to go against the ideology and defend the very same things that
You support.
I oppose.
Okay, you're
Yes, because if I am in the ruling side, I
yes.
have to defend all those things, all those ideologies, which I have been opposing since I was the LOP and in the opposition benches. So it is a very challenging task, but it is also a very fun task for me because you get to know so many things from other perspectives as well. And not just that, I've also delegated as an independent MP or independent delegate from independent block as well. So it is like you're exploring all the 360 degree of the horizon, and then you're coming on a common ground to understand the agenda for your own self, not for having any best delegate or high commendation or stuff.
So it's like being a responsible citizen of India. One should know both the sides.
Exactly.
As you said कि one nation one election पे research की.
हाँ हाँ.
So I believe कि जो भी citizens are responsible and maybe the delegates too, instead of supporting only one side, हमें दोनों side का equal awareness होनी चाहिए.
Yes.
What is happening? For
Yes.
example, one nation one election में when I researched about it, I actually delegated as an opposition MP, and there I got to know that the thing which I was defending from a very long time, उसमें भी कुछ चीजें question करने लायक है. So it's like we need to be aware.
Exactly.
बहुत ज़्यादा.
Yes, because awareness is something. If you want to opinionate on something, first you should be aware of it. अगर किसी बंदे को या बंदी को इशू के बारे में कुछ पता ही नहीं है, तो वो उसके बारे में ओपिनियंस कैसे फॉर्म करें? अवेयरनेस इज द प्राइमरी थिंग दैट वी नीड. नॉलेज इज द प्राइमरी थिंग दैट वी नीड अबाउट दैट वेरी स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक, व्हाटएवर इट इज, वेदर इट बी पॉलिटिकल, सोशियो पॉलिटिकल, वेदर इट बी इकोनॉमिकल. अगर कोई लड़का बोलता है कि आई एम अ फेमिनिस्ट, but he doesn't know what the core and true concept of feminism is, So, what is the meaning of being a feminist now?
It is a social media feminist. When
Exactly. It is a performative feminist.
performative.
So one should always be knowing the things that he is forming opinions about. One should always be knowing things that he is supporting, opposing, or whatever. So that is it. That's all. That's what I believe.
Yes, and talking about awareness,
Hmm.
I recently came across one of your Instagram stories where you were reciting something which is quite popular in the immune circuit.
Yes, I know.
It's a poem.
Yeah.
And when you were reciting it, the sitting there were unable to recite along with you.
Hmm.
So, what's your take on that? What do you think a politically aware student or politically unaware student में क्या difference होता है?
Exactly. So firstly, that poem. It is, if I could recite it.
Yes, please.
So it is something which is very popular within the circuit, and it is so popular that when I recite that poem, the delegates sitting in the audience, they recite it along with me. So it is something which says, मन के जीते जीत है, मन के हारे हार, हार गए जो बिन लड़े, उन पर है धिक्कार, उन पर है धिक्कार जो देखे ना कोई सपना, सपनों का अधिकार असल अधिकार है अपना। तू भोर का एक तारा है, परिवर्तन का एक नारा है, ये अंधकार कुछ पल का है। तू माटी का लाल है, कोई कंकड़ या कोई धूल नहीं, तू समय बदल के रख देगा, इतिहास लिखेगा भूल नहीं। So, why do I say this is usually I recite this poem in the closing ceremony of of any MUN. What this means is like मन के जीते जीत है, मन के हारे हार. It is a उसका simple definition is if you're lost in your mind, you're truly lost. You're defeated. But if you have a will to conquer, if you have the will to win, if you are destined inside your own mind and inside your own heart, then you have very good chances of winning. So मैं क्या बोलता हूँ in the closing ceremonies that अगर आपको लगता है कि आप हार चुके हैं, अगर आपको लगता है कि you feel like giving up, you feel like lost, you should just remember of these lines, and it is something which helps me a lot as well. Like when you feel low, you should just remember these lines. You should just focus on not giving up. You should just focus on victory and achievements. So that is the meaning of it, that until and unless you have the will to win inside your mind and inside your heart, you can truly win. But if inside your mind, अगर तुम्हारे दिमाग में और तुम्हारे दिल में तुमने defeat और हार accept कर चुका है, तुम हार गए. So yes, the thing I was reciting, it was in my college during a forum installation ceremony. Okay, so the people were unaware. Of course, the students were unaware there, and the people in the MUN circuit, they're very well aware. Like I've said, that they recited alongside me,
Yes.
but I found it very different in that institute. And other side, the MUN people, they are very well known to this. They very well know this because they are associated with the public speaking and oratory circuit. Right. So what there are two types of people. Like there is a like you said, technical degree
Technical.
and a professional degree like law, arts, and all these things. Technical may be primary example would be BTech.
Mhm.
Okay. So there are some students in the technical field that they lack public speaking skills. They lack all these oratory skills. Then they might not be aware of that. And it is something which is a lack and which is a flaw in our Indian educational system. It has been greatly fulfilled by the NEP 2020, the National Education Policy 2020.
Yes.
So it is improving. It might not be rapidly, but gradually over time it can be. I have seen it personally in my institute that there are many attempts to develop public speaking skills within the technical field of students. When it comes to non-technical field of students, they are already aware of this. If you come to law students, they know moot courts, they know trial advocacy,
Yes,
they know
yes.
Model United Nations, they know youth parliaments,
They know debates.
they know debates and group discussions.
They even organize G20 summits and all
Yeah, exactly.
as a competition.
Yes, so they have all this exposure. It is slowly coming to the technical fields. In the firstly, it is coming in the forms of MUNs. we have also seen there are so many engineering colleges which are hosting MUNs.
And additionally, youth parliaments, debate competitions,
Exactly.
and all of this.
Yeah, the oratory and public speaking platforms are coming to the technical fields as well. It is not something ki ho hi nahi sakta. It is very possible. It is happening. So I believe that the next time if I recite in any engineering college, they would be able to recite it alongside me, just like the MUN people do.
And I'm hoping for the best. And as you said, where there is a will, there will always be a way.
Yes.
One thing that really stands out about you is how soft spoken you are. In spaces like MUNs or politics, where everyone is often loud and assertive, that must have been challenging at times. How have you navigated being soft spoken while still making your voice heard? And do you think politicians in the real politics should be soft spoken as well?
If we speak of being a soft spoken person or a politician, we have a very best example, a very primary example, our former Prime
Prime
Minister,
Minister.
Dr. Manmohan Singh. A person who spoke so less, very less as compared to his predecessor or his successor, but yet he delivered so many things for us. Right? So, being a loudmouth person is not always the good thing. That is what I believe. I'm not saying that one should not be outspoken or something, but one, if the person can be soft spoken, if the person can speak less and deliver more, that is one of the best qualities. We all know what his achievements were, we all know what the work he has done. For me, being a soft spoken person and yet navigating throughout uh, it was a quite bit difficult task. But then what I believed is having influence and being diplomatical within your connections, within your circle and within your path is the thing that would help you if you are a soft spoken person. While in debate, if you would have witnessed me, I'm not soft spoken at all, because while in debate you have to present your opinions, you have to make your voices heard. एंड ऐसा नहीं है कि जो बंदा चिल्ला चिल्ला के बोलता है उसी की आवाज सुनी जाती है.
Sure.
हम लोग बैकडोर नेगोशिएशंस के थ्रू भी अपनी आवाज सुना सकते हैं. कोई प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके भी आवाज सुना
Podcast
सकते,
के
पॉडकास्ट करके भी आवाज सुना सकते हैं,
Yes.
जैसे मैं आई एम डूइंग इट राइट नाउ.
Yes.
So the loudest the person is, he is the ruler of the room. It is not like that. If the person is more quieter, he is more deep, he is more secretive, and he knows many things than the person who is loud enough. So that is what I believe, and that is what. And also yes, एक बंदे को वहीं पे अपना मुंह खोलना चाहिए जहां उसको लगता है कि उसके शब्दों की अहमियत है, वैल्यू है. अगर मैं ऐसी जगह पे जाके ये इतनी सारी बातें करूंगा जिन लोगों को पता ही नहीं है, जो लोगों को इस बारे में ज्ञान नहीं है, that it won't be of any use, right? So one should always open his mouth in front of the people in the circle where it is useful, where it is something which would be valued. That's it.
And being a soft spoken delegate to being a chair to chairing committees
Yes.
that जहाँ पे आप एक बार delegate कर चुके हो. So how does it feel like?
So for me it was like कि I knew कि how things work for delegates, because a journey from a delegate to a chair, it is a very hardworking thing. ऐसा नहीं होता कि अगर आपका कोई दोस्त है वो MUN ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहा है तो आपको चेयरिंग दे दे. It is judged on the basis of your experience, the basis of your performance, and all that comes handy when you become the chair. ठीक है. And one can very well distinguish the person जिसको नेपोटिज्म की वजह से चेयरिंग मिली है एंड जिसको एक्सपीरियंस के बेसिस पे चेयरिंग मिली, राइट? तो अगर जब हम चेयर करते हैं तो हमें पता चलता है कि हम एज डेलीगेट उस तरफ बैठ के क्या सोचते थे, क्या करते थे. Sometimes it is not, everything is not easy for the delegates on the opposite. So being a chair, you get exactly, if you are an experienced chair, I don't know how those nepo chairs do, but if you are an experienced chair, you get how things are on the opposite side, on the delegate side. Making the background guide, taking orientation session, that is the bare minimum for us. But बैकग्राउंड गाइड जब बनाते हैं हम लोग, तो हमें ऐसी बैकग्राउंड गाइड बनानी चाहिए जिसमें डेलीगेट्स को समझे. ऐसा नहीं कि बहुत ज्यादा लीगल टर्म्स यूज करके हमने दे दिया तो इट लुक्स कूल, बट बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे अगर वो डेलीगेट को समझ में नहीं आता तो इट वोंट बी ऑफ एनी यूज.
Yes, yes.
लीगल टर्म्स,
It should be useful for the delegate.
लीगल टर्म्स शुड बी यूजफुल,
Hmm.
बट लीगल टर्म्स इतने ज्यादा उसमें ये नहीं होने चाहिए सैचुरेट की पूरा उनके दिमाग के ऊपर से चले जाए. सो ये तो बैकग्राउंड गाइड था. सो वेन एवर आई मेक एनी बैकग्राउंड गाइड फॉर एनी MUN, व्हाट आई डू इज मैं उनको एक समरी देता हूँ अच्छी खासी. अदर देन दैट आई गिव देम कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल एंड जुडिशियल एस्पेक्ट्स एज वेल, क्योंकि देयर इज अ परसेप्शन अमंग्स द पीपल इन MUN सर्किट दैट जो इंडियन फॉर्मेट कमिटीज रहती है इट्स ऑल अबाउट शाउटिंग, स्लोगनरिंग एंड पॉलिटिक्स, बट इट इज नॉट नथिंग लाइक दैट. It is also about legal aspects, constitutional validity, judicial validity.
Mhm.
So that is something we have to change. UN committees, I have chaired UN and Indian board type of committees. So when I have chaired UN committees, I've seen how formal they are, how precise they are, and how legal they are.
Yes.
And when it comes to Indian committees, it is also formal
Formal.
when needed. Because what is the fun in Indian committees if we can't do sloganeering?
Okay.
So what I do as a chair when I chair Indian committees is to make the committee fun by giving the delegates. मैं ज़्यादा उनके ऊपर restraint नहीं डालता. I don't whiplash them कि decorum में ही रहो. I give them the free hand. They are, if you give the delegates the free hand, वो अच्छे खासा अपने तरीके से committee चला ले.
चला लो.
Other than that, I explain all the judicial aspects, the constitutional aspects, the legalities, which would help them
Mhm.
not only in the MUNs or in the conference, but also आगे जाके. अगर आपको किसी इश्यू, किसी टॉपिक के लीगल एस्पेक्ट्स भी पता रहते हैं, तो आप आगे जाके उसमें एक्सेल कर सकते हो उसी फील्ड में, उसी इश्यू को लेकर. तो दिस इज अ बैकग्राउंड गाइड का एस्पेक्ट. अदर देन दैट, हाँ, also I have learned this कि while I have delegated under some chairs, वो बहुत अच्छे तरीके से हमें लीगल एस्पेक्ट्स एक्सप्लेन करके देते थे. बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जो उसको थोड़ा निग्लेक्ट कर देते. It should not be done, but it is being done. So whenever it is my committee, I make sure that it's not done. I've learned from some of the very great people in this circuit. I would not like to name them here.
You can.
I can.
Yes.
So, I have delegated under Prithviraj Sapkar, Harsh
wow.
Ghate, Dev Kyawal, Ayush Avle sir. So these are people who are very good in these Indian format committees.
Hmm.
I've personally learned and gained experience from them. I have literally gained how to debate from them, how to research from them, how to speak, how to deliver speeches. So whenever I chair, मेरे दिमाग में क्या रहता है कि हाँ, इनके जैसे मुझे इतना एक्सप्लेन करना है, इतने चीजें बतानी है डेलीगेट्स
बहुत
को.
responsibility है.
Exactly, it is a very responsible task if you are sitting on the executive board of any committee. चाहे वो क्राइसिस कमेटी हो, चाहे वो फिक्शनल कमेटी हो, इंडियन हो या UN हो. तो and also the task of the chair is to take the committee forward together. One should not be biased at all. कभी कभी होता है कि चेयर अपने दोस्तों को ही जिता देता है, अपने बेस्ट डेलीगेट अपने फ्रेंड्स को दे देता है, या बहुत सारी मैल प्रैक्टिसेस होती है. तो it is not something what an executive board person should be doing. We should take the committee all along, सबको एक साथ लेके he should be going forward, and that is being done very well by me, by my colleagues as well. So it is not big of a deal. And once you start chairing, like the first time you chair, you won't get much कि हाँ क्या करना है, कैसे करना है. It would be cloudy and all. But once you start that, like I said, that once you tread the path in that field, you start learning more, you start gaining experience, and then you figure it out. I was not always the chairperson. I was once committee director, scribe, delegate, vice chair. So we gain all these experience, and then when our time comes, we bombard all that experience on the delegates so that उनको अच्छे से समझे and कुछ सीख के घर जाए.
So you have delegated in multiple committees, Indian as well as UN committees.
UN there are not much.
Okay. How was your first experience as a chair?
How was my first experience as a chair? It was a bit boring.
Boring.
Yeah, because like when I used to delegate, the performance of delegates was not the same as I had expected. आई हैड एक्सपेक्टेड, क्योंकि मैं जिस तरीके से डेलीगेट करता था उसी तरीके से मेरे एक्सपेक्टेशंस रहते थे। तो जब मैंने वो डेलीगेट्स की परफॉर्मेंस देखी, डेलीगेट्स की ये देखी, डेलिब्रेशन स्किल्स या ओरेटरी स्किल्स देखी, आई वाज इट वाज लाइक गुड, इट वाज नॉट वेरी बैड, बट आई वाजंट अम्यूज्ड। सो एंड फर्स्ट का जो हमारा मेरा फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस था इस चेयरिंग, मैंने उसमें बेस्ट दिल्ली नहीं किया
Why?
बिकॉज
No one was deserving.
yeah, best deal is not something being the best delegate in the, but there are certain aspects for the best delegate, right?
Hmm.
So all those aspects weren't being met completely, but it was good. It was a bit boring. I regretted chairing that, but anyways, the successive chairing experience, they were all very good. They were all very good, and delegates were also good. The agendas were also good. The conferences were also good. Yes.
As a delegate, I used to think कि chairing बहुत बड़ी चीज होती है, and it is.
Yes.
But I used to think कि बहुत मजा आता होगा, but it is very responsible task for an individual.
मजा तो आता है।
Yes.
द सेकेंड डे जब आप घर जाते हो गाड़ी में बैठ के, तो आपकी पूरी पीठ दुखती है, आपके पैर दुखते हैं, आपका गर्दन सर सब दुखता है।
Because you have to sit constantly. at
Yes,
one
we have to
place.
sit constantly and we have to listen to all the 30 people whatever they say. बहुत बार क्या होता है, वो 30 में से बस 5-6 लोग ही बोलते हैं, बाकी सब बकवास करते हैं,
करते हैं।
तो उससे सर भी दुखता है। So it is fun, but it is not always fun, because जैसे for example there was this one conference, वहाँ पे every single delegate was a first timer.
Oh.
Yes, and we had to change our agenda on the second day. It was some different agenda. It was UAP on first day. We changed it to the 10th schedule of the constitution, the anti-defection law, on the second day. Because if you इतने सारे first timers थे, इसलिए वो जो UAP था, it was very much technical for them. तो we had to change the agenda and then we just carried out कि भाई अभी खत्म करना है तो कर ही लेते हैं. Yes, most of the time it is fun. Some of the times like this experience, कि हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ मुझे अभी घर जाना है, यहाँ से बहुत जल्दी घर जाना है मुझे, एंड जब घर भी जाते हैं तो पूरा सर दुखता है, इतने सारे आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि गंदा बोलते हैं या गलत बोलते हैं, इवन इफ दोज आर वेरी गुड आर्गुमेंट्स, यू हैव टू कीप देम इन योर हैंड, यू हैव टू एनालाइज देम फॉर द सेकंड डे का सेरेमनी, अवार्ड सेरेमनी. So yes, it is a fun thing, but it is also exhausting thing. And उसके एक हफ्ते पहले से, for example, most of the conference are Saturday, Sunday. उसके एक हफ्ते पहले से you have to start preparing for that. Being a chair, you also have to be aware of this agenda. Most agendas are already well known, but there are some agendas again that you might not be knowing, because we are not perfectionists, right? We are not very much experts. We are not constitutional experts. We might be knowing agendas, we might be knowing most of them, but अगर ऐसा कोई बारे में हमें पता ही नहीं, तो उसके लिए फिर हमें रिसर्च, हमको खुद को भी रिसर्च करना पड़ता है, और हमें डेलीगेट के एस्पेक्ट से नहीं. इफ यू आर अ डेलीगेट, अगर आप कांग्रेस के डेलीगेट हो और बीजेपी के डेलीगेट, तो आपको एक स्पेसिफिक पार्टी के पॉलिसी के थ्रू रिसर्च करना पड़ता है. अगर आप चेयर रह के रिसर्च करते हैं तो आपको एज ए न्यूट्रल पर्सन, जिसमें सारे एस्पेक्ट्स आने चाहिए, रिटोरिकल, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल, लीगल, सारे एस्पेक्ट्स, उसको वैसी तरीके से रिसर्च करना पड़ता है. सो it is a very exhausting task as well, but at the end of the day it is something that if we give what we can to the delegates, it is very satisfying and it is very fun and good.
So नागपुर सर्किट में youth politics बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रेंड पे है. And whenever I think about youth in politics, I feel there's both hope and hesitation. Hope इसलिए because being young generation, being the young population of India, हम लोग बहुत सारी न्यू चीज़ें ला सकते हैं. And as a tech student, हम लोग कोई different perspective भी politics में ला सकते हैं. And hesitation इसलिए because politics can also consume that energy in sciences. So you are someone who has chosen ये वाला step at a very young age. Do you see हम लोग as a young population of India, हम लोग क्या contribute कर सकते हैं?
Yes, of course, politics has lost some credibility, not much credibility and accountability as well within the last 15 years of our Indian polity.
Okay.
So, अगर आप कहते हैं, there are so many people who say that politics एक gutter है, but there is not a single person who is ready to step into that gutter and clean it. If not just me, there are so many people who want to bring a change, want to bring a revolution, whatever the organization they're affiliated with. So जब तक हम उसमें इन्वॉल्व होके उसमें अपनी चीजों के थ्रू चेंजेस नहीं लाते हैं, वी आर नॉट समवन हु शुड से एनीथिंग फॉर दैट. अगर आपको कहना है कि पॉलिटिक्स हैज लॉस्ट क्रेडिबिलिटी, बट येट अगेन यू से आई एम एन ए पॉलिटिकल पर्सन, नो पर्सन इज ए पॉलिटिकल. यू हैव टू मेक चॉइसेस ऑन एवरी स्टेप ऑफ योर चॉइस. आप वोट देने जाते हो, उसमें आप ए पॉलिटिकल नहीं रह सकते. इफ यू प्रेस अ सिंबल, यू आर पॉलिटिकल अगेन. बहुत there are so many people within this generation, the post 2000s generation, Gen Z, yeah, whatever generational term it is, they say that politics doesn't affect me. But no, politics affects you in every single step. अगर आपके घर के रेट्स बढ़ जाते हैं तो इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ सम डिसीजन बाय द गवर्नमेंट, बिकॉज ऑफ सम लॉ. अगर आपके सब्जियों के दाम बढ़ जाते हैं, इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द इन्फ्लेशन विच इज अगेन इनकम्पिटेंसी ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. अगर आपके टैक्स बढ़ जाते हैं, रोड टोल टैक्स या जीएसटी या वट एवर टैक्स बढ़ जाते हैं, इट इज अगेन अ गवर्नमेंट्स डिसीजन विच ऑफ कोर्स derives फ्रॉम पॉलिटिक्स. तो पॉलिटिक्स ऐसा नहीं कहना चाहिए कि दैट इट डजंट अफेक्ट यू, इट अफेक्ट्स यू इन एवरी सिंगल वे, बस आपको पता नहीं रहता हाउ डज इट अफेक्ट यू.
So politics is affecting us from many ways.
Many ways, yes. It might not be the day to day life, but yet those are the things which affect a large part of our life, whether it be financial, whatever, political, whatever, social issues, financial issues, they're all influenced by politics to some sorts.
And you're also a member of NSUI, very active member of Students Union of India. So what's your take on this? How can students like us can contribute to the governance, the politics?
Yes. So again, the previous question and this, I'd like to link it up. I'll give a very grassroots example, very primary example, central level वगैरह कुछ. तो recently there was a issue regarding the carry-on policy. If you might be knowing what the carry-on policy is, I'll just explain. कैरी ऑन पॉलिसी में क्या होता है, समझिए अगर मैं अभी थर्ड ईयर में हूँ और मेरा सेकेंड ईयर के किसी भी सेमेस्टर में बैक आता है, तो एक पॉलिसी रहती है जिससे आप थर्ड ईयर में प्रमोट हो सकते हैं, बट साइमल्टेनियसली आप अपने प्रीवियस एकेडमिक सेशन का या ईयर का बैक क्लियर कर सकते हो. दैट इज अ कैरी ऑन पॉलिसी. इट इज इम्प्लीमेंटेड इन ऑटोनॉमस कॉलेजेस थ्रू आउट नागपुर, थ्रू आउट RTMNU. ठीक है, बट अभी क्या हुआ था, 2025 जो एकेडमिक सेशन था उसमें RTMNU ने जो कैरी ऑन पॉलिसी का मुद्दा है उसको, जो कैरी ऑन पॉलिसी का नोटिफिकेशन है वो नोटिफाई नहीं किया था. 2024 तक दे हैड नोटिफाइड इट, दे हैड इम्प्लीमेंटेड इट, बट सिंस द स्टार्ट ऑफ 2025 दे हैवंट इम्प्लीमेंटेड. हमें ये कब पता चला, जब अमरावती यूनिवर्सिटी ने इम्प्लीकेशन और नोटिफिकेशन दिया, बट RTMNU had failed to do so. So there were so many students who came to us, not just us, there were so many organizations involved.
Yes.
So many students came to us, they said कि हमारा पूरा यही खराब हो जाएगा, बिकॉज अगर आप सेकेंड ईयर में ही अटक जाते हैं तो फिर आपका एक साल बर्बाद हो जाता है ना. So there were so many complaints pouring in, there were so many issues pouring in. So what we decided that we would go to the registrar, to the pro vice chancellor of the RTMNU, and we gave them deposition letters. We met the pro vice chancellor, the members of NSUI, Yuva Sena, and there was also NCP. There was also some another student organization. So we all met the pro vice chancellor. We told him like दिक्कतें हैं स्टूडेंट्स की, बहुत लोगों के एडमिशन रुक जाते हैं अगले सेमेस्टर में, अगले ईयर में प्रमोशन के, बहुत लोगों के एकेडमिक ईयर पूरा ये हो जाए. अगर आपको एक साल रिपीट करना पड़ता है, इट्स अ वेरी बिग डील ना. सो वी मेट, वी टॉक विद देम, एंड हमने कुछ धरने नहीं किए, हमने कोई प्रोटेस्ट वोटेस्ट नहीं किए. हम उनके कैबिन में गए, हमने उन्हें डेपोजिशन लेटर दिया, हमने उनसे बातचीत की. तो दे assured us that it would be sorted, and within 4 to 5 days the carry-on policy was implemented again.
So this is how
So
NSUI acted.
this is how NSUI acted. this is how we worked, this was the issue, this was an issue that we raised. एंड अगर ऐसे इश्यूज बहुत सारे लेवल्स पे रहते हैं, ये तो हमें पता चला क्योंकि स्टूडेंट्स ने हमको आके बताया कि ऐसी ऐसी दिक्कत RTMNU यूनिवर्सिटी अफिलिएटेड नॉन ऑटोनोमस कॉलेजेस में जा रही है। ये हमें पता चला क्योंकि स्टूडेंट्स इन्फॉर्म्ड अस एंड स्टूडेंट्स हैड द विल टू चेंज सम थिंग्स। ये हो सकता है मुंबई के किसी कॉलेज में भी हो सकता है, पुणे के किसी कॉलेज में भी हो सकता है, नासिक के किसी कॉलेज में हो सकता है, दिल्ली में किसी यूनिवर्सिटी में हो सकता है। जैसे देयर इज अ वेरी फेमस यूनिवर्सिटी इन दिल्ली कॉल्ड NSUT, नेशनल नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी। उसमें भी बहुत सारे इश्यूज हैं, हंसराज कॉलेज में भी है, DU में भी बहुत सारे इश्यूज है। सो ये इश्यूज कब सॉर्ट होंगे? ये तो स्टूडेंट्स के इश्यूज है। ये इश्यूज कब सॉर्ट होंगे? जब स्टूडेंट्स एक साथ आएंगे, यूनाइट होंगे एंड दे हैव अ हंगर फॉर चेंज, हंगर फॉर रेवोल्यूशन। अगर हम ऐसे ही बैठे रहेंगे, किसी C7 में बैठे रहेंगे, किसी कोई भी कैफे में बैठे रहेंगे और बोलते रहेंगे कि नहीं हमें ये करना चाहिए, वो करना चाहिए,
Criticize करते
that
रहेंगे,
is
उससे कुछ नहीं होगा।
I call that coffee revolution.
Okay, coffee revolution.
Or you just sip a cup of coffee and you want some changes. आपको जाना पड़ता है grassroots level में, you have to know what are
What are the
issues,
issues? Yes.
what are the grievances. After the carry on policy wala issue, there were so many different issues that we had received from the students. I won't name them here. You'll see that you'll see NSU are working on that as well. So yes, if the students have the will and hunger to bring a change, they have the will and hunger to for a revolution, for a kranti, it is done. Our generation can very well influence the politics of our country, and if we start from the grassroots, it is a very good thing. क्योंकि often in elections, जैसा भी लोकसभा के इलेक्शंस होते हैं, तो उसमें नेशनल लीडर को देख के वोट दिया जाता है।
Yes.
अगर तुम प्रधानमंत्री को देख के वोट देते हो और अगर तुम्हारे बाजू की सड़क में गड्ढे हैं, तुम्हारा नाला ओवरफ्लो होता है, the prime minister won't come and fix it, right? Your local MP would come and fix it. So people should also be knowing that grassroots level के मुद्दों को देखकर वोट देना चाहिए। Like प्रधानमंत्री को तो आप वोट देते, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री की कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी क्या है? वाराणसी,
Right.
यूपी में। इट इज माइल्स अवे फ्रॉम
Miles.
नागपुर,
Yes.
and not just Nagpur, whatever the constituency is, whosoever the best person is for your own constituency, you should elect him on that basis. Not कि सेंटर में तो ये लीडर आएगा, सेंटर के लीडर्स को they don't even care about
Yeah.
you. Many people who might be following the central leaders, वो लीडर्स को पता भी नहीं कि ये लोग एग्जिस्ट करते हैं कि नहीं। So politics is something I believe should be influenced by our generation, and also by our generation raising the grassroots level, and whatever the issues they think that should be raised. So ऐसा नहीं है कि Gen Z cannot influence politics. Every generation has in some sort influenced politics. जनरेशन के हिसाब से देश को, संविधान को बदलना पड़ता है. So it is not that big of a task. We just need a sense of responsibility towards our country. We just need a sense of awareness and sense of change within the country.
एंड आई थिंक हमारी जनरेशन बहुत, मतलब एज कम्पेयर टू बाकी की जनरेशन, पॉलिटिकली बहुत अवेयर है।
Yes, they are not politically aware, they are socio-politically aware.
Yes.
Because there is a big difference in socio-politics and politics. So, yes, our generation is very well known with the LGBTQ agendas, feminism, women rights. All these things are very well known within our generation. They might not be knowing कि बिहार में कौन सी पार्टी सत्ता में है. They might not be knowing कि नागालैंड में कौन सी पार्टी सत्ता में है. But one thing which is commendable about our generation is कि इनको बहुत सारे मुद्दे पता है. Capitalism, they know all these things. And वो कैसे, they don't watch news channels. News channels are not credible at all. They watch all these podcasts. They watch all these documentaries available on internet. And our generation is very well aware of it. They know anything when it comes to abortion case, abortion issue. They know everything when it comes to the rights of LGBTQ people,
Yes.
feminism, women's rights. So they are very well aware of with this thing. It would be more better if they are aware with political things as well. Like अभी एक वो इशू उठा था वोट चोरी का. It got
मीडिया ने बिल्कुल भी कवर नहीं किया था।
exactly.
And
The
जहाँ-
media did cover it, but it didn't cover it for a long time because उसके बाद सुप्रीम कोर्ट का verdict आया था regarding the stray dogs issue in Delhi. So the momentum changed real fast. That is what happens in politics as well. So one should stick to a issue which he thinks it is important. Of course, the stray dog issue is
Was important.
important as well. I am also a dog lover. It is also important for me as well. But again, the vote चोरी allegation. अगर आपके देश में ही सरकार ऐसे वोट चोरी करके बनती है and you are not aware of it, you don't even want to know about it, क्योंकि most of the people क्या सोचते हैं कि ये 2 घंटे का डॉक्यूमेंट्री कौन देखेगा. So it should not be like that. It is very good that if you are socio-politically aware, you should also be politically aware. You should also be geopolitically aware. Again, there is something Trump tariffs and all. People should be aware of that. Most of the people, they don't know these things. They might be knowing social things and liberal things, but they should also be knowing
Political-
other
other
horizons.
stuff. Yeah. So before we wrap up,
Hmm.
I want you to drop a message for our audience, for the young generation, for the upcoming people in the MEN circuit. जो as a delegate new beginners जो आएंगे उनके लिए please drop a message.
Like it is something which is again mentioned in my speeches. These conferences, they are not just about winning and losing. Firstly, it is about the journey that you tread in everywhere. It is about giving your 100%. And these conferences are not merely should be taken for granted. They are not. They are not for socials. They are not for drinking Red Bull. They are not for fun. They are not for dress ups. What I personally believe is these conferences are a revolution, a change, and a kranti in itself. Because we live in a democracy.
Yes.
एक लोकतंत्र में हमारा आवाज उठाना सबसे मूल अधिकार रहता है, सबसे अहम अधिकार रहता है, संवैधानिक हक रहता है. एंड अगर आप देखेंगे तो आजकल हमारे जितने भी स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियंस हैं, जितने भी परफॉर्मर्स हैं या आर्टिस्ट्स हैं, उनको उनके आवाज उठाने के लिए जेल में डाल देते हैं या पीटते हैं या गुंडागर्दी होता है.
Leading controversy.
एग्जैक्टली. सो ये हमें ऐसी जगहों पे आवाज उठाकर जनता को ये दर्शाना चाहिए कि जनता को सरकार से नहीं बट सरकार को जनता से डरना है. दिस शुड बी द सोल मोटिव ऑफ आवर कॉन्फ्रेंसेस, whosoever it may be. Even if you're a rightist, even if you're a leftist, communist, capitalist or a centrist, your sole motive should be based on कि आप कैसे contribute करते हैं, आप कैसे आवाज उठाते हैं. There are so many issues that need to be raised voices for. There are so many cases that don't even come into highlights. Like we should be raising our voices for them. So at least it will be useful. My shift from MUNs to NSUI as well is कि बहुत हो गया अभी MUNs और यूथ पार्लियामेंट में आवाज उठा के ना. अभी if I am in NSUI, I can raise voice for student change and student welfare and all these things. So that should be the motive.
So it was a very inspiring, informative, and knowledgeable conversation with you, sir. Thank you for joining us. And to our audience, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep questioning. This is Shruti Parthi signing off from the second episode of the Unplugged Stories.